All right, class, welcome back. Today we are going to talk about something extremely important, and I promise I will try to make it less boring than it sounds. The topic is present simple. Yes, I know, the name sounds simple, but somehow it still manages to confuse a lot of people. So, what is present simple? Present simple is a tense we use to talk about things that are always true or happen regularly. In other words, this is the tense of your daily life. Everything you do again and again, everything that is normal for you, and everything that is just a fact belongs here. Let's start with routines and habits, because this is where present simple lives. For example, I can say, I usually go to bed late because I watch YouTube or study English. And if we are being honest, it is mostly YouTube and maybe 5 minutes of studying. Another example, she wakes up early, exercises, and prepares breakfast for her kids. That is what we call a responsible adult. Meanwhile, some of us wake up, open our phone, and suddenly it is already noon. We also use present simple for facts and general truths. For example, the sun rises in the east. If tomorrow it rises somewhere else, grammar will not be your biggest problem. Another example, water boils at 100 degrees. If it does not, then something very strange is happening, and again, not a grammar problem. Then we have general things that are always true. For example, I like coffee. This is not just a sentence, this is a survival strategy. Or, she speaks English. That is something that is generally true about her, not just right now, but in general. Now let's look at how we build sentences, because this is where things start to go wrong. In present simple, the basic structure is easy. I work, you work, we work, they work. Everything is clean and simple. But then we meet he, she, and it. And suddenly, life becomes complicated. With he, she, and it, we add s to the verb. He works. She eats. It rains. Just one small letter, but it causes big problems. Many people forget it and say, she work every day, or he go to school. These are very common mistakes. The correct forms are, she works every day, and he goes to school. That small s is doing a lot of work, so please respect it. Now let's talk about negatives. When we want to say something is not true, we use do not or does not. For example, I do not work on Sunday. She does not work on Sunday. Or in short, I don't work. She doesn't work. But here is the important part. After doesn't, we do not use s. So we say, she doesn't work, not she doesn't works. I know, English sometimes feels like it makes rules just to confuse you. Next, questions. Questions in present simple start with do or does. For example, do you usually work late when you have a lot of deadlines? Or does he often go to the gym after work during the week? Again, after does, we use the base form. So we say, does he work, not does he works. Yes, the s disappears again. It comes and goes like a mysterious guest. We also use short answers. Do you work? Yes, I do. No, I don't. Does she work? Yes, she does. No, she doesn't. Short, simple, and very useful in real conversations when you don't want to give a long speech. Another very important thing are time expressions. These are words that tell us that something happens regularly. For example, every day, always, usually, often, sometimes, never. If you hear these words, there is a very high chance you need present simple. For example, I always drink coffee. She usually studies at night. These words are like signals telling you which tense to use. Now let's talk about mistakes, because mistakes are not your enemy. In fact, they are your best teacher. The most common mistake in present simple is forgetting the s. People say, she work every day, or he go to school. This happens all the time, and it is completely normal when you are learning. The important thing is to notice it and improve step by step. So let's quickly summarize everything. Present simple is used for routines, habits, facts, and general truths. With I, you, we, and they, we use the base form of the verb. With he, she, and it, we add s. In negatives and questions, we use do and does, and after does, we do not use s. And when you see words like always or every day, you are almost certainly in present simple. And finally, a small message from your slightly sarcastic but friendly student. Do not try to be perfect. Nobody is perfect. Not you, not me, not even that one friend who says they never make mistakes. Speak, Practice, make mistakes, and learn from them. That is how you improve. All right, that's it for today. Now go and make some sentences, make some mistakes, and slowly get better.